In this tutorial, I am going to walk you through Tittibhasana, otherwise known as the Firefly pose. It is a strong arm balance as well as a hip opener. And if you haven't done Tittibhasana before, I highly suggest grabbing a hold of a pair of cork blocks to get you prepared for this arm balance. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button of this page to support the channel. Thank you. Now, we're going to place the blocks right in front of our mat. And please make sure that you're warmed up, particularly your wrist extensors and especially your hips and your inner thighs. So what really helps with Tittibhasana is to be in a tabletop position and slightly lean your shoulders just past the wrists. Now our wrist extensors are going into deep extension in Tittibhasana, so it's always really nice to play around with shifting the shoulders just a little bit past over the wrists, especially when you're first learning Tittibhasana. So with the blocks, you're going to separate the blocks wider than shoulder distance apart. So step your feet forward, and you want to imagine trying to get your calf as high up your shoulders as possible. I know that that may sound a little daunting, but even if they don't go as high, you can place your wrists and your palms just on top of the block, letting your fingers just hang towards the top of the block. Go low and get your shoulders underneath your calves. Come up onto the toes and feel free to just stay here. Bring the big toes to touch. Begin to straighten the arms. Now this is a shoulder press, so feel free to hang out here or go ahead and begin to lift the right leg up, internally rotating that right leg. Lower it down. Lift the left leg up. Internally rotate that left leg. A lot of Tittibhasana is all about that internal rotation of the hips and of the leg bones. So just take a moment to breathe here. And one thing that's really important about these challenging asanas and arm balances is to be able to breathe as you build strength towards that asana. Breathing is a really important tool to send the message to your brain that this movement, this new pattern in your body is safe. So just catch your breath for just a moment. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and set yourself up on your blocks once again. This time we're going to lift up into Tittibhasana. So nuzzle in the shoulders underneath your calves. Come up onto the big toes. Look forward. Keep your gaze forward. And if you feel comfortable, engage your inner thighs as you reach the toes up towards the sky. Maybe you sit the butt down as the legs go up, up, up. And then slowly release. Beautiful work. Go ahead and roll out your wrists. Another great way to find Tittibhasana without the blocks is to set your blocks off to your side. And once again, you're going to place your hands pretty wide, wider than shoulder distance. Nuzzle in the calves over your shoulders as much as you can. Now, big external rotation of the arm bones. Come up onto your big toes whenever you feel ready. Take an inhale. Sit your butt low. Keep looking up, up, up towards the sky. Straighten the arms. On your exhale, reach the toes up and away. Internally rotate the legs. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards your arms. Keep looking up, sitting the butt lower and lower. And then slowly release. Go ahead and just roll out the wrists. Now, I'm going to show you how to do Tittibhasana with bent arms. Now, this is a Really great way to work towards that previous Tittibhasana that I just showed you. So, whenever you feel ready, Tittibhasana is always such a challenging pose, even for me. So, again, place your hands wider. Sit your butt low. Squeeze inner thighs towards your arms. Come up onto the big toe mounds. And then reach forward. Puff up through the back of the heart. Keep puffing up the back of the heart. And then if you want, you could sit your butt low and reach up. Now, you can always use the blocks as you're working your way up to Tittibhasana. There's no point in working yourself into a shape, especially an asana like Tittibhasana, which requires a lot of extension from the wrists, the protraction through the shoulders, and of course, strength from the inner thighs and the legs. One thing I do recommend to work on is to keep working on poses like a lizard lunge, your half splits, and really just try to get into the hips and the hamstrings as well as your quads. Tittibhasana is a powerful pose and it requires a lot of preparation, especially throughout your asana practice. And there are many different ways to transition into Tittibhasana in a vinyasa class, such as lowering down from a straddle handstand into Tittibhasana, pressing up into a handstand from Tittibhasana, as well as jumping forward into Tittibhasana. But I do suggest working on your shoulder pressing, this Bhuja Pinasana, and really focusing on the gaze. You want to keep your gaze up towards the sky, or if you want to do Tittibhasana with bent arms, keep your gaze looking forward. Keep puffing up through the back of the heart. Beautiful work. Thank you so much for tuning in to this tutorial. I know this is a very challenging pose, but always give yourself grace in your practice. Always know that the practice comes with a lot of effort and ease, and it's also really important to listen to your body and not push yourself. These things take time, and they take working with your breath. And if you lose the breath in any pose, you lose the yoga. So remember to breathe in the position, because again, breathing sends a signal to our brain and a message to our brain that this movement is safe for you. If you have any questions or any comments, please drop them in the description box below. And if you'd like to learn the preparation for Tittibhasana, the link to that class is in the description box below. Thank you so much. I bow down to you in all of your efforts.